Hello guys, this is your Dinesh Mohanras speaking. So today I'm very happy to introduce a person which I got like a blessing. When I was in abroad, I was doing consulting for a lot of startups. But when I want to come back to India, I was looking for a VC firm who can support my startups. So when I was speaking with multiple firms, I met a very superb personality, which is Shishir, and I learned a lot from him, and he helped me for many of my startups, especially on the funding part and on the compliances part. So today I'm going to introduce Shashir, and we are going to learn a lot from him. He's the CEO of Startuplanes. So hi Shashir, how are you?
Hi Dinesh, so kind of you for these kind words. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and welcome to our channel. We are so happy that we are going to learn a lot from you. That I am very sure. I can promise our subscribers now. And yes, Shashir. So please give an introduction about yourself. Yeah.
So, as you know, I'm Dr. Shishir Gupta, founder and CEO of Startuplanes. And besides that, I have two more businesses which I have invested and co-founded. One is called Frosty. We manufacture electricals.
Okay.
So very recently, we have just yesterday come up with our first production of ceiling fan.
Wow. Okay.
Besides that, I'm also the co-founder of Arza.
Okay.
Arza is manufacturing kids wear along with Black Tea, and we are fortunate enough to supply to Big Basket, Fresco Supermart, Kerala Supermart. So lot of B2B sales is happening,
Okay.
and so these are the businesses I'm associated directly.
So,
However, in Startuplanes, we have 132 investments done till now. 385 crores we have been deployed.
okay.
And I have been ranked fourth in the world as a VC and startup consultant.
Yeah.
Just today, I have got the title of top contributor in VC segment from LinkedIn.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And Startuplanes was the fastest growing tech company in the year 2021 in the world, ranked number one by Growth. And I also do consulting on Clarity.fm. This is a global platform for startups. I've got uh, right now the rank is 9, but I used to rank 4 in the world
Okay.
previously for VC and startup.
Okay.
So I've advised more than 1,000 startups so far.
Got it.
That's a bit about me. If you ask me, I can continue. I'm an also author. I am a lawyer. I'm a fashion designer. Done MBA.
Yeah, you're multi-talented and you're helping startups in many ways.
So learning never ends.
True, very true. There are a lot of HNIs, a lot of companies who are having cash and they want to invest in right startups. And there are a lot of startups with a lot of good ideas, but they are struggling to raise funds or to get a proper advice or consulting from people like you. So there is a very big gap, and I can see that Startup Lane is filling that gap and helping a lot of startups and the investors. So from an investor perspective, what are the things that they are expecting in a startup?
So there are a lot of things an investor expects, and a specific investors will have specific kind of expectation. But I'll try to generalize because the facts which are common for most of the investors.
Okay.
And the first and foremost thing, which is the most important one, is while you are investing money, the first thing that you require as an investor is the ROI, right? So, what is the return on investment? If you are investing 10 lakh rupees and there is a time value of money, so if you are investing this money for 2 years, 3 years, you would be having an X amount of ROI in your mind, right? So, that ROI must be fulfilled. If you are not getting expectation of that ROI, then this will be a problem. Another thing is the second thing which comes into the mind of an investor is the safety of investment. Right? So if an investor knows that my money will be going into the drain, nobody will invest. Right? So that is very much important for an investor to have peace of mind while investing. That means the investment should look or at least appear safe initially. Startup investing is very risky. and that's how it is well rewarding also. So that balances everything. But the second thing which is most important is the safety.
Yes.
Then third, the industry must be growing, because if the industry is not growing, no matter how good the product is, no matter how good the founders are, the management team is, you will face the problem. Right? I'll give you a very good example. EdTech. During the COVID, EdTech industry was flourishing.
Yes.
But later on, in today's time, they are facing a lot of problems because most of the parents, they want their children to go out and study in physical establishments. Right? So that is why, if the industry is not doing well, then you have lot of problems. You cannot fight that alone as a startup. So that is also very much important. Besides that, another factor is how fast we can grow. You know, you must have seen startups are associated with rockets, right?
Yes.
And the very simple reason is that rocket depicts speed, rocket depicts height, growth, and startups are supposed to grow at a faster pace. If the startup is not growing, it's not a normal company. Right? So many people are confused with startup and an SME or a normal business. So if you are just buying and selling goods, it might not be a startup. It does not have anything to do with how early you started. If you just started, it does not mean it is a startup. So it has to be an innovative business which is trying to disrupt. That is another important point, disruption, which people need to understand. Disruption means either you are having better price or more convenience or both. Right? So you don't have to do different things. You don't have to have a different product. You have to have a similar homogeneous product as the market leader has. I'll tell you a very important reason, because if you don't have a product which is there in the market, then you will spend a lot of money, time, energy in marketing and building that product demand. Right? The demand is like soul. You cannot create it, you cannot destroy it. You can just only display it. It is like energy. You cannot create, right? So you need to take somebody's demand. How you will take that demand? By providing a better price. People think that I have built a better product, it will do well. But that becomes very, very difficult, because if I give you a cold drink, a soft drink, which is similar to Coke, and I say, this is like orange color, but it has the taste of, or a better taste than Coke, it will be very difficult for you, me, and other people in India or anywhere in the world to digest this fact that any cold drink which is new could be better than my favorite one.
Okay.
So people trust their brand. If you say my product is similar to a brand, I'm selling it for a lower price, then it might work very well. If you have better convenience, if you provide that product easily without having much difficulty, because humans are lazy by nature. If you provide your product easily with more convenience than others, then you will win. So that is called disruption. Disruption technically are of two types. One is called a new market disruption. Another is low-end disruption. New market is like when you are inventing something, and the most common type of disruption is the low-end disruption, wherein there are two types in low-end also. One is price disruption, another is convenience, which I told you. So if you have a homogeneous product, wherein the price is better than the market leader, you will tend to win. And if your convenience is more, then definitely you will be winning. And if you provide both, then it's an awesome combination. So we need to have all these factors right, and these are just few of the common factors which I'm sharing with you. There could be so many factors which are important for investors. Same goes for the growth of the startup. Ultimately, they are chasing the growth. They require a startup to grow, because that is how an angel investor or a VC would be looking for investing, where the growth is there. If the organization is more of stable and it is not growing fast, then it is not a good investment. Right? At least in this industry.
Very true. Very true. The key word is growth,
The
which
fast
includes,
growth.
yeah,
Yeah, the fast growth.
yes. So more than invention, we need innovation with scalability. That
Definitely.
matters. True.
Yeah. I'll tell you something very important from my experience. So during the COVID,
Mhm.
I don't want to name that organization. They came to me, they were ex-DRDO scientists,
Uh-huh. Oh,
and
okay.
awesome team they were.
Okay.
And they created one single gap, which was enough for five big problems, five big ailments,
Okay.
including COVID, which was prevalent at that time.
Okay.
One shot, five kind of diseases it
Okay.
will prevent,
Okay.
right? So it was one in five, five in one vaccine,
Okay.
and it was theoretically proven.
Okay.
Uh, all they required was, and this is I'm talking about early days of COVID, early days when
Okay.
vaccine was not there.
Okay. Got it.
So they invented this product,
Uh-huh.
and this was a big solution that could have changed the world.
Okay.
We tried with lot of big investors because again, the investment that we could have done alone was not enough.
Okay.
Plus, we were not having that kind of expertise. So we went to lot of other big shot investors, big corporations, which were experts into the domain. And majority of the investors said, sorry, we will not be able to help. And the reason was simple. Reason was because it was a local company, because it was not a known one. It will be very, very difficult for people. They said people are not trusting AstraZeneca,
Mm.
right? Something that goes straight in your blood.
Yeah.
If it is from an unknown brand,
Yeah.
you will not take it, right? And we are talking about the global population.
Yeah.
Do you think global population will trust? And I had no answer. It was absolutely correct. So, in spite of all the factors were right, there was demand, industry was booming, and people were crying to get us a cure. Governments were searching, everybody was helping, but it was not a fundable business that moment. Had it been, and they were not ready to sell this, the license or IP to a big company. They said no, it is our IP, we will not sell it. So ultimately, that could have been the solution initially to tag along with a big corporate and have the IP mature and later on jump in. But they were not ready for it. And ultimately, this happened. So there could be a lot of factors which are important, and we need to consider all of them.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So actually, I can compare this with the same scenario that I am doing consulting. I think we have spoken about a lot of companies that I have brought in. So startups think like if they apply, they get funding. No, there are many other factors around getting funding. So they should grow to a good maturity level where they should the investor should say like, yes, I'm going to invest in this. So one thing I really liked in Startup Lane is you were doing consulting to 360 degree, because like again, I don't want to mention a company name, but I saw like you helped them in a lot of business development. They scaled up very hugely, and automatically the funds started to come. So here I tell most of my startups also that before going to funding, take the consulting properly, increase your scalability so that the investors themselves will come and start to invest in that. So yes, this is fantastic. And what will, if we want to raise a funding for a startup, what will be the, not minimum criteria, but what will be a decent amount? Like if they make this much profit, a investor will be interested in that startup. Do you have any ballpark number for that?
See, we cannot have a ballpark number for investing. There are cases where we have invested straightforward on the idea, and so startups are doing pretty well. There are cases where startups came to us at 50 plus crore revenue, and they are also doing well. Those who came at 50 crore revenue, they are doing 110, 120 now. And those who came at an idea stage, they are doing like 4.5, crore to 5 crore now, annual I'm talking about. Now, I can quote an example of one startup which is from a small town from West Bengal, you know, and so right from the beginning, uh, the founder Subhayu, he was connected to me, and I was advising him what to do. And so he thought of this particular idea, and I gave him that why don't you become one MG for rural area,
Great. Oh, great.
right? So, and that clicked his mind. So what he wanted to do initially is, he said, Shishir, I want to create something. I will have a box, at all the temples and prominent places where people can drop in unused medicine. So I said the idea is very good, but ultimately there is a problem, and the problem is that you will not be having sufficient medicines wherever you require. You don't know actually, who will drop in which kind of medicine.
True. It's an experiment. It's new.
So, and if somebody is needy, you cannot just wait that if somebody will drop medicines and then you will supply these medicines. You understand?
True.
So that became a problem, and I was not able to support his idea directly. And I said, why don't you pivot this idea and try with this one? So he said, okay, Shishir, whatever you advise, what do you think? I have a job, and his package was 1.25 crores. And he said, what should I do? Should I quit the job? And he was working for a very good organization.
Understood. Yeah.
And I said, okay, you quit the job.
Okay.
Right. And he quit the job next day. It was 8 o'clock at night. Next day he quit the job. And after some time he was saying, Shishir, what would happen? Funding is not happening. And I'm kind of sad about it. I'm worried what's going to happen. I said, don't worry, we'll do the demo day. And let's see what people think about it. And we did the demo day. And on the demo day itself, there were a lot of people, but unfortunately, nobody was showing much interest. So, because it was purely an idea, the founder was coming from a different field, and he was not from this side, he was from finance. And, he had no experience of business. So, he was worried, I was worried, but I had this conviction that this is probably workable. So after an hour, I got this call from somebody.
Okay.
And he said, Shishir, I participated as an investor in your demo day. And I would like to invest.
Okay.
And I said, how much you want to invest? He said, I will invest 2 crores.
Okay.
So I thought, it's somebody trying to play a joke around, because nobody just calls like that and invests 2 crores. And he said, Shishir, give me the bank account of the company. So I'll transfer some 50 lakh to them.
Okay.
So as a, because you are, as an organization, you cannot say no, correct?
Yeah.
To your LP. So I said, okay, no worry, you do. And I shared the details. To my surprise, morning 9 o'clock, I got a call from Subhayu. And he said, Shishir, thank you, 50 lakh came.
Okay.
And without any due diligence, without any further things, he transferred entire 2 crores. So 50 lakh in the morning and then 1.5 more. And so, that investor is a big shot investor.
Got it.
So I don't want to identify, disclose his. So he has exited one of the best startups in the world. I say among top 10.
Wow.
And he lives in India, amazing investor.
Okay.
So, so he's a good guide. So that startup is doing very nice now. They are doing around 5 CR annually.
Wow.
They scaled up very well. So such kind of cases do happen wherein sometimes the idea is good and investors perceive it very well and that works very nice. Sometimes we look at more stable startups depending upon the industry. If the industry is like F&B, clothing, then we definitely look for higher revenue. Suppose a startup, I'll tell you, one of the applications we have received, that startup was doing 2,600 crores annually,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Okay.
and the profit they were making was very less,
Understood.
like in few crores.
Understood.
So it was very difficult situation wherein the profit was not even in single digits; it was in points, and their profitability was a big challenge. So in certain those kind of cases, we need to have far more higher revenue.
Mm.
Okay? And in some cases, even if there is no revenue, and even if the revenue will not come for some time, like we are doing a startup where a rocket is there, which will just like SpaceX, it goes to the space and come back.
Mm-hmm.
100% India made. It goes to the space and comes back, and at far lesser cost in comparison to SpaceX, and it can take a smaller payload, light payload. You know, so that is something which is made in India. That startup. So in that case, even if it is they are not able to make any revenue for next 4 5 years, it is okay because we understand for testing it is very expensive.
Yeah.
If they go, they launch their rocket to space and it comes back, it will be a cost. It may cost 20 25 crores,
True.
right? So just 5 6 experiments they are done with 100 crores.
True. True.
Right.
Very true.
Imagine the future. Imagine this IP if this becomes successful.
Yes.
They can be the space and even better than SpaceX for India.
Exactly. Exactly. We do at lesser cost with more
Correct.
quality. Yeah.
And they have been supported by ISRO. They are
Yes.
mentored by ISRO.
Yes.
So they have that capability. So depends entirely upon what kind of industry, what kind of idea they are working upon, and that is what which is important.
Okay.
If it takes a lot of time, but if somebody comes to me and I say and tell me, sir, I buy T-shirt from Tirupur and I sell it online, then also if the profit is not coming, then it is a big problem.
True. True. Yeah. True.
Uh,
But Tirupur, yes, it's one global hub as well for textiles.
Correct.
Yeah.
A lot
But
of
there are,
people are doing that,
yeah. Yeah.
and they should make profit.
Exactly.
That kind of business is there.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. So now in the current trend, investors are mostly interested in which kind of startup, like tech-based, agri-based, uh, made in India, like what exactly, like in which kind of industry they are more interested in nowadays? What's the current trend?
So India's present and future both. For the near term is consumer. Anything which is consumable,
Yeah.
like food, clothing, shoes, belts, and electronics, electrical, these products which are directly related to the consumption.
Mm.
These products will do very, very well in near term. And the reason is simple.
Okay.
Because of the high population growth in India,
Mm.
because of majority youth is there,
Mm.
this trend will go up.
Got it.
Right? Second is anything related to infrastructure,
Mm.
because India is in a phase wherein infrastructure will be added in a very, very large scale. So in that particular space, if somebody is doing affordable housing, if somebody is able to make the cost of construction lower, somebody is into roads, bridges, with a new technology, not the conventional one. Right?
Understood. Understood.
You should not be a normal contractor and coming to us saying I just need funds for.
It should be innovative.
So it should be something a new technology wherein the cost of construction gets reduced. Imagine if somebody is able to reduce the cost of constructing roads by 50%. What kind of demand they will have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if somebody is able to create solar panels at 50% lesser cost, just yesterday, Prime Minister announced that there will be 1 crore solar, homes
Yes.
free of cost. Government will provide.
Yes.
So that such kind of infrastructure, startup, anybody making the glass for that particular product. So anybody working on energy, because India will be requiring a lot of
Yeah.
energy. So these kind of requirements, but uh, innovation.
Yes.
If you cannot expect to compete with Reliance, just do what Reliance is doing. Right?
Yeah.
You
True.
cannot be an oil refinery.
Yeah.
If you are an oil refinery, you have to have lesser cost
Yeah.
in comparison to Reliance.
True.
Right?
True.
That is how the country benefits. That is how you will have more demand, because overall you are saving money for your consumer, and that is generating value. So any startup which is having mass demand, where the trend is going, that particular trend continues for some time. Like in COVID, health tech, ed tech, these kind of trends were very much in place. Uh, then came the agri tech trend. Now it is again having some trouble. You know,
Yes.
so uh, majorly if you are towards the consumer product, then this trend will continue forever, because everybody requires food, everybody requires clothing,
Mm.
everybody will require travel, transportation. So these are basic needs, right? Uh, if you are making lights, if you are making fans, if you are making doormats, these kind of products will always be required. You know? And these are basics. Like if you construct a house, you will always require a ceiling fan.
True.
Or if you will require wire. Without that, you cannot construct a
True.
home, right?
True.
So you will require paint. So these kind of products, you will require window, in your home. So all these products will always have demand. But if you are able to innovate, you should not be a normal interior designing organization. If you are doing something innovatively, like government has introduced the paint made of cow dung, right? So if you are doing that, saving a lot of cost, helping the environment, then it is good. So another thing which is going to be the future,
Mm.
that is sustainability, the circular
Yes.
economy.
Yes.
If, if, if you are a startup and you are not associated to sustainability, then God bless you. I don't know how you will flourish in the future,
True.
because everybody is becoming concerned about sustainability. If you are destroying Mother Nature, if you are polluting, if you are not uh, concerned about your carbon footprint, then consumers will reject you.
Mhm.
Sooner or later, this trend is coming. If not government, consumer will directly reject you, because they are concerned about their problems which have been generated with global warming. Lot of problems are coming. So sustainability is the key. Any startup which is working for sustainability and global problems like pollution,
Right.
especially air pollution. If a startup is there which is able to 100%, 10%, 5%, 2% reduce the pollution through a sustainable solution, right, which is better than the solution available right now. Right? The HEPA filter is not a lifelong product.
Mm.
So your air filter has to have an HEPA filter which keeps on changing. It's not a very sustainable product, because for manufacturing that filter, you need to have again a carbon footprint. Similarly, for your EV, it is not a very sustainable kind of solution. For manufacturing batteries, you need to have a lot of this carbon footprint, right? So if your product is carbon negative, you are able to make something which helps the environment in something better from now, without taking much. If you are trying to give back to the nature without taking much, this is going to be super successful. I'm 100% sure, because people are aware. Gone are the days when people were ignorant. Now nobody is ignorant.
True.
People want to support such kind of organizations, such kind of projects which are helping Mother Nature. So that trend will continue for next 50 years,
True.
50, 50 years from now. This is what I see.
Got it. Understood. Fantastic. So yeah, so we can get a lesson on what are all the current trends and where investors are more interested, and government is also more interested, especially in solar and Infrastructure. Wow. That's great. I just took my notes. Wow, fantastic. So one last question. I think I have been asking you this for quite some time now. When Startup Lane is planning to start the incubation?
See, we did the incubation couple of times, to be honest.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But that model could not get mature, and there are multiple reasons. So what we have found is the output is not as per the expectation, right? So instead of incubating, we tried with different models, and now what we are trying to do, and I'll share the reasons which are disastrous for incubation and acceleration. Generally, what happens is in an incubation or acceleration model, especially when the founders are coming from different fields, when they are not knowing each other for long, lot of time they have disagreements, lot of time they have disputes,
True.
and that leads to instant failure of the startup. Majority, if you ask me, in my experience from startup lanes and other places, incubation and accelerations, the main reason for failure of most of the startups was ego of people. So when two co-founders are there, when you don't have too many resources, two or four or five, no matter, when you don't have too many resources, then you tend to expect from each other that he will do or she will do that work. When she's not doing that work, then you also, I will also, why should I do this work? When she's not doing, he's not doing, right? And then you start having expectation, you start having comparison, and everything gets destroyed. Then you are not self-motivated. When your co-founder asks you to do anything, you feel like I'm also owner. Why should I do this? So this becomes a major reason, including me. I also had co-founders in startup names. Two of them were there, and they were like feeling, why should Shishir tell me what to do? And when they were telling me what to do, I was like, when I have more experience, I know what to do. Why they are interfering in my domain? So a lot of such kind of differences do happen,
Okay.
and it becomes an ego problem for some. They say, my co-founder was elder to me, and he said, Shishir, you should listen what I'm telling you. And I said,
Yeah.
so outside office, I will listen to you, but inside office,
Yeah.
I have to do whatever is best for the company.
True. Very true.
So this is the personal experience, this is an advisory and consulting experience both. Better I found is you should focus on people who are coming from good experience of job, and you associate with them, and they should be like, you should have a business experience, your co-founder should have a job experience, and you should define your places well, and always have good communication, strong communication, morning, evening calls, whenever it is required, always pick up calls, always call your co-founder. So that's very, very important. The moment you cut off the communication, if you are not together, then a lot of problems will build up, right? And coordination among the co-founders is the most important thing while you have this kind of setup. So we are not more of focusing upon incubation and acceleration, to be honest, but we have changed the model. What we are doing is we are working on actionable things, wherein some action is there, right? Instead of just providing advisory like Babas, everybody provides an advice in India. So we don't want to be a Baba. We just want to provide some action. If you come to me and say, can Startuplanes help me in increasing my sales? I will say yes. How? I will help you have more franchisees. I will help you have more distributors, right? And I will not charge you upfront, before doing things. That's the game changer. If you go to any organization which does franchising, they will ask you to pay 10 lakh, 15 lakh, and then they will list you. So that is their business model, but that does not work for anybody, right? I may charge you 50,000, but when you have a franchisee in place, I will directly charge the franchising fee. It might come 2.5 lakh to you, 50,000 to startup loan. But that is an actionable way. of doing things. When I appoint a distributor, it will be like actual appointment of the distributor, not just consulting, right? So in our last 7 to 8 years, we have learned that people don't want consulting. People don't want blah blah blah. They want actionable things. If you can give them a distributor, dealer, supplier, buyer,
True.
franchisee,
True.
they will be happy to pay you, right?
True. Very
People are happy to pay for the leads. This is what they are doing for Google and Facebook, right?
true.
If you give me business, if you give me a direct buyer, I will be happy to pay whatever is genuine, right?
True.
So that is what we are doing. We are helping our startups in 3 ways.
Okay.
One, by increasing their sales.
Okay.
Two, by reducing their cost. How do we reduce their cost? We provide them better opportunities from the vendor.
Okay.
Suppose right now you are buying X, maybe you are buying say motor, okay? So maybe you are buying motors worth of 1 crore every month, and you are creating EV vehicles. Now, if I give you a better vendor with same specifications, who can have your 5% lower cost for the same product, right? So you end up saving 5 lakhs a month. If I give you such 5 vendors wherein you save 5 lakhs, that becomes 25 lakhs, which is extra income, right? You can use this money for better advertising to pay your people more, right? So we create good competition among vendors. We give better vendors. For vendors also, because they need some kind of buyer. So while we connect, the vendor is benefited by increased sales.
Yeah.
The buyer is benefited by lower price, and the investor is benefited because both the companies are growing.
Yeah.
So if you are an investor, so what Startuplanes will say, invest in the buyer and seller both.
Yeah.
So if the buyer grows, his seller will also grow.
True.
Right. So you get two times of benefit from your investment because this entire chain will go. So we are trying to create that kind of ecosystem wherein one startup is procuring from other, and that is why we have segmented ourselves for consumer products, so that we can have collaborations also. Like what we are doing is we are collaborating a cosmetics startup with a kids wear startup, right? So what complementing they will do is, like you might think what the kids wear startup will do with cosmetics. So what happens is mothers are the decision makers for kids, right? So when mothers are coming to buy kids wear in a shop, obviously they will have a lot of time for themselves. Right? Fathers generally don't go. So mothers, if the cosmetic is also there in the store, there are chances that mothers will buy that product. Right? So if suppose a store is doing 25 lakhs, and if they are able to sell 10 lakh worth of cosmetics, so the sale becomes 35 lakhs. So it's a win-win situation for both, right? On the other hand, contrary, where the cosmetic store is there, there we will put the kids wear. Right? So this is how we are trying to complement without creating competition, utilizing your existing resources, going together, because you are already paying rent, you already have a good store. Why not complement it with somebody else? Right? So when Startuplanes is there, this trust comes up because we evaluate everything beforehand. Brands could be destroyed if you get a wrong brand associated with you. So we check that, and that's how we provide those kind of associations. So, it's not the entire investing space has changed. Earlier it was only investing. Now you have to ensure growth. That's what we are doing. We ensure growth. We ensure that sustainability factor is also there, and we ensure that this entire ecosystem is working under the legal boundaries. There are laws followed. Everything is genuine. Honestly, they are doing. So this is what we try to do, and which is much more than much more beyond the normal investing model.
Got it. Got it. Super. Fantastic. So yeah, that's what in startup lanes, a startup gets a 360-degree support.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic.
Vision, the very fundamental why Startuplanes got started. While I was going, I had to struggle a lot. At an early age, I lost my father, and I come from a very rich and affluent family. And literally, like you see in movies, I became so poor, nothing was left. People took away my property, business, everything. And I had to work in my own father's factory as a poor labor. So that time I realized how tough the life is, how tough, how difficult it could be for people to survive because I was just a 16 years old young boy, in class 10 when my father was living. So it was difficult because I wanted to study. I wanted to become a chemical engineer at that time, do IIT. I was very good in computers, but suddenly everything went away. So I was not having money. And I thought, God, if I get to that particular level, well, I will be able to help somebody. I will try to help people, to those people who are in my situation today. So if I come out of this situation, I will find out people like you who are in this situation and I will help them out.
Wow.
So by God's grace, things went better when you have this kind of uh, will to do something, when you have this kind of responsibility towards yourself, that I will do and I have to get back what was left, what you deserve as a son of your father who is no more. So I tried to get everything back, and by God's grace, that's the reason why I never stopped studying, and I have multi skills, lot of things I studied from computers to fashion to lot of things, to law, all diverse fields, because I was so afraid in life that what would happen if again the poverty comes back? What would happen? So I thought I should study more and more things. I should gain more and more knowledge, more and more experience, so that you don't fail again, so that I can care about my family and I get back everything. So that is what I did. That is how I did law, fashion, computer programming, whatever came to me, I never said no. I said no. I will do whatever is anybody can do, and I kept on doing that. And once I got by God grace to a level wherein I felt I can help people.
Okay.
So I started finding teachers like me. And you will be surprised. I actually found out a community, Shishir.org, wherein a lot of Shishers were there. And this guy used to have, there was one guy used to have email IDs provided to all the Shishers. Literally, it was not my task. I wanted to find people, not my name people, I wanted to find out people whom I can help.
Okay.
And then I realized it's not possible to find out such people. We have to create a system. That system will help others. And I identified that and I work for a lot of NGOs wherein I directly help them, and I found that it's not good to give people money, food, shelter, no, because you are making them dependent.
Yes, true,
So
very true.
then I heard about that it's always good to teach them how to fish instead of giving them food.
Exactly.
So that they earn with dignity, and then they will thank you. You donate money to people, they will be thankless. So that is what I thought, and this system came in my mind, and I thought that I will generate 1,000,000 jobs for our children. And from there onwards, 2015 onwards, I started my journey making things in a way, and I found the way on exactly on the day when Startup India policy came, 16 January 2016. Startup Lanes also was born on the same day.
Oh, wow,
So
that's great.
I was not knowing that this could be Startup India policy and National Startup Day one day. It happened. So, because of that, I found that so far we have tried to help a lot of people. We want job seekers to become job creators. And uh, my elder son, he, he has learned from me this which I have talked to people who accept my vision. He says, uh, I will become the job creator.
Wow. Wow.
I will continue what you are doing so that this legacy continues. And this is what the change should come to our nation.
Okay.
People should have that courage to do something for others, to try out of their cocoon, to come out and try something. And I always tell them, what would happen if you leave your job and
Yeah.
start your business
Yeah.
5 months? What's going to happen? Maximum, you will fail, go back to the job again.
True. Very true. Very true.
So that is the basic aim of Startuplanes, and thankfully, so far we are trying to do as much as we can, and people are supporting us. God is blessing,
True.
and
True.
thank you so much.
No, you have a lot of blessings, Shishir, because first impression, like how I know you first is like when, as I said, like when I was in abroad, I was looking for VC firms in India to help my startups in India, and I saw you in LinkedIn. I saw one of your posts. It was in COVID. It was in 2020. I still remember. One person said like he lost his father during COVID. He lost his job. His mother was ill, and he was looking for a job. He posted the resume. You reposted that resume, and that person got a job in couple of days. So that was the first Shishir I remember. I was like, okay, wow, that's good. And when few people like I was working, I started my career in India. So some of my boys, my team boys, they contact me that sir, I lost job. I said like, see, I'm not in India for like almost like 7 years. I don't know now. I lost the touch. I'll give you a person LinkedIn ID. You just send your resume. I shared your LinkedIn ID to them, and you posted couple of my boys' resume. I still remember, and they got jobs. So that was the first impression of Shishir, and I thought like, okay, this person is really good. Then I started following Startuplanes, and I saw like how Startuplane was growing so fast. So that's why like when I came back to India, first thing I did was like I started associating with Startuplane, and I learned a lot, and it's just it's the journey that's
Thank
going
you.
now. So you on that first LinkedIn message itself, you put about your story there. The conversation was between you and another person, that story. But when we were reading, that was very inspirational. So yeah, you have a lot of blessings, and that's one thing. Like many people like you, including me. So
Thank you so much.
it's good. It's good. So it's really fantastic. It's really fantastic. So the main aim for me to bring you in here is like I have been telling about startup lanes to many people, but many people have a lot of doubts. So I thought like it would be great if I can directly bring you and to get the information directly from the guru itself. So that's great. So you want to tell anything to the startups who are looking for fund support? What advice you would say?
See, my father used to say that for one fraction of second, the universe must thank you, even if it is for a fraction of second. So when we are here in this world, we are here for a reason. We are not in an isolation. We are sent by the God to do something. And that doing is not something like 5 o'clock coming back from office, going 9 o'clock to the office, or doing normal things. No. You have to fulfill your responsibilities. And these responsibilities, I always remember, the first responsibility that anybody has, I call it, is towards the Almighty, the Almighty God who is your creator. So that is to follow what path has been laid, right? to do something good, to preserve yourself, to preserve the environment. Because we have never heard a snake saving life of a man, a dog saving, maybe, but a dog saving life of a tiger. No, but humans are created. We are the most intelligent people, most intelligent type of animal. So it is our job to preserve everything which is created by God. So those who don't believe in God, their responsibility becomes towards Mother Nature. So that is an important responsibility. After that, you have the responsibility towards your nature. Right? If you are born in India, you have to follow what your country has prescribed you. You have to be a patriot. You have to think about the progress of your country in all ways. If you are, whether it is sports or any way, it is your responsibility. You have to follow. And the third responsibility that you have is towards the society, because you don't come from isolation. It is the society which has given you everything. You, the food, shelter, everything, clothes you get from the society. So that is your responsibility. And fourth responsibility is towards your parents. Right? If you are born, those parents, they must have done lot of effort. They have expectations. They make you raise up. They give you sanskar. So you have to fulfill the responsibility. You have to take care of them. You have to make them proud. You have to do something which makes them happy.
True.
And the fifth responsibility, which is not the least, very, very important, is towards yourself.
Yeah.
You have to ensure that you become your own hero. Nobody is coming from Mars.
True.
Nobody is going to help you if you can't help yourself. So you are responsible for your children, your wife, your family, your friends. When you take your own control, then you have to be responsible to yourself. And the first thing which you have to ensure is that you have to make sure you will never ever be poor, because majority of the times money is the problem which destroys the career, which destroys the future, which destroys the relationship. So if you are not poor in terms of financial, then obviously this is very practical I'm talking about from my experience. So then obviously your social acceptance, your career, your relationships will be good. Nobody would like to associate, whether we believe it or not. Nobody would like to associate with people who are having less amount of money, who are struggling for funds, because you tend to avoid them.
True.
Right? And that's how life works. You cannot, once you need to make sure that you never ever lose your minimum level of earning. You have to plan your life well. This is the responsibility. These are the 5 responsibilities I learned from my father. I always ensure that these responsibilities are fulfilled, and I share this with all the students wherever I meet people. If they ask me, and I always tell them that if you fulfill these responsibilities, you will always be good in your own eyes. You will always be popular. You will always be doing, because it's not easy to pull all these 5 responsibilities. If you are fulfilling those responsibilities, you are good. Everything will be good. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shashi. Thank you. It was so inspiring, both professionally and personally. So inspiring. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So yeah, I think exactly it's like 1 hour. Exactly 1 hour.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
So thank you for your time. See you soon. Yeah. Grow your business with Dinesh Mohanraj, business coach and consultant. We help your business for growth, startup fundraising, compliances, and more. Check our website for online courses, and you can book our appointment through the WhatsApp number given here, and check our website dineshmohanraj.com for more information. Good luck and thank you for watching.